What's it like in your brain when you get creative? Hey, it's Mikli, and you're listening to Head Time Stories, a podcast exploring what's it like in your brain. Today is a special episode. We are recording on location in the fog and fresh air and green mountain views of Tagaytay. And I'm joined by my favorite husband and creative person, Mon San Sebastian, for Head Time Stories' first guest episode. If your creativity were a creature, what would it look like?
If my creativity were a creature, I think it would be like a Venus flytrap. That's the first thing I thought of because creativity for me is not actively looking for a spark. Like I'm just sitting there waiting for prey or that inspiration or that spark of creativity to arrive, and it's up to me. If I'm ready to capture it when the fly arrives, then boom, there it is. I can't pick a time, I can't pick a place. It just happens. So I guess yeah, Venus flytrap or any other plant of sorts that waits for their prey.
If, as the Venus flytrap who waits for its prey, how do you make sure that you have enough food to eat?
Yeah. So, like the Venus flytrap, I can't control when the fly arrives, but I can imagine it as I can set myself up so when it arrives, I can capture it.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more about how you do that. How do you set yourself up so you can capture?
Different things, like if it's something, let's say music. Let's say I do music, something maybe I consume that art form. Maybe I listen to some music, to some tunes that I feel like would inspire me, that get me in the mood to create music. Warm-ups can also be a good thing. Sometimes I'm able to, I want to do this thing, and like recently I did a cover, like a fun cover of a thing. I think it was Agatha All Along's, what's that song?
The Ballad of the Witch's Road.
Yeah, that one. And then I just figured it out on the piano, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna record this. But lo and behold, it took me like an hour to record it. My phone has like 20 minutes of recording. I had to keep trying. So yeah, I mean that's part warm up, that's part getting the hang of it, and it comes with it. Like sometimes the content is just 10 seconds long and it will take you the entire day to create. So that's what happens.
What is creativity to you?
That's a good question. I think creativity to me is a learned habit. Cause like you know how people usually when you do something creative or artsy and they see it and they're like, "Oh, you're so creative. That's so nice." And it almost sounds like they're dismissing it as something that you naturally have.
Which, like, it feels belittling of all of the time and effort that I put into this skill that I built.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes it does, but not always. Sometimes it also feels like self-deprecating to other people to a point.
What do you mean?
Like some people can feel, "Oh, you're so creative." It's almost like they're saying that, "Oh, I can't get to that level."
Oh, no, yeah, no, I hear it. Like, you're creative, parenthesis, and I'm not.
Yeah. And what I learned from having this mindset, it's so weird to say that, "Oh, I'm a creative person." No one says that. What I learned is that it really is something that you just do. And then the more you do it, the more you realize one thing connects to the other. And then, this looks nice, or this doesn't look nice, for example. And then you get to build a pattern of behavior.
When you say a pattern of behavior, a behavior of like doing the thing, playing your music, or
Let's say I'm gonna write a song. So I have to have lyrics down. I have to have my workstation down. How should it sound like? Just having that, what do you say, not templates, but more of you have pieces of information that you have because you've done before, and you get those pieces and put them together, and it's easier eventually once you get the hang of it. The more you do it, the more pieces you have. Now I'm kind of lost also.
the more
I kind
you
of
do it,
babbled.
the more you do it.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you do. I guess you can cut everything to that part.
No, this is cute. What are you talking about? Tell me more, because I know that you think of it in this way too. Tell me more about how creativity looks like to you outside artistic fields.
If I were to summarize it to a sentence, it would be like creativity is like a game of connect the dots.
Oh, I like that. I think of it that way too.
Yeah, because like creativity is mostly finding the connections between one thing and another thing that people don't usually see. And the less common it is, and the more novel the idea is, sometimes it's perceived as more creative. Because, like, how do you connect a water bottle to a dog?
To a what?
To a dog.
Oh, okay.
How do you make that connection, for example?
How would you make that connection?
Depends. Like, what's the objective? Let's say, okay.
Let's play a game.
Okay. Let's do this impromptu game.
Okay, so the two objects are a water bottle and a dog. And the objective, what do you mean by objective? Give me an example.
Like,
of an
what do
example.
I need to do? Like, do I need to sell something? Do I need to
Oh.
teach something? Something like that.
Teach a 13-year-old something about harm reduction.
Wow. Do we need to unpack and describe harm reduction in your podcast?
Well, teach our listeners about harm reduction.
A challenge. Okay, wait. Let me think about this.
It doesn't have to be harm reduction as a whole. You could also pick a specific topic within harm reduction and teach that.
No, I have an idea.
Okay, go.
Oh, here you go. If you have a dog,
Mm.
if you have a pet dog, then you know dogs need to drink water for sustenance, right? And then you can put it in a bowl. You can turn on the faucet and let them drink from the faucet. If you have a water bottle, usually when you buy it fresh, it's clean, right? If you know that the water is clean versus if you take water from the faucet. In context, water here in the Philippines
From the faucet.
from the faucet is not, potable. Because I know some countries or a lot of countries, a lot of people can just drink from their faucets.
Yeah, what's
So-
that?
Right. So in this context, you don't know how much bacteria or germs the water has if you drink it from the faucet. So harm reduction is like that. If you know what you provide your pet, if you're more aware where it's from, both of them, water from the faucet, water from like clean water, can both quench your dog's thirst. But the more informed you are, the more sure you are that it's clean, that it's good, the more you are sure that that person is safe. So that's what harm reduction is. So given the context, harm reduction is more of having an informed decision for people to do things, to consume things. Mikli and I both came from drug policy work. But yeah, I guess the concept of harm reduction is the more informed you are, the more you're knowledgeable of the thing you provide your pet with or any person, the better it is for them because you know that that person is safe, whatever they're doing.
Ah, I love that. That's dog in a water bottle. So now what about cat and that? No, I'm kidding.
How about you?
How about me?
You want one? Okay.
Oh, give me one, give me
here.
one.
Sell me
Sell.
or sige.
Yeah, this podcast is my break from selling.
Okay, here now, not sell. How do you explain the greatness of the concept of a bidet to someone who hasn't used a bidet before?
What two items am I connecting?
That's the goal.
That was the goal is to explain bidets to somebody who hasn't used it before. Okay.
How do you make use of a towel and a motorcycle?
Ah, okay. Ooh, I have to think about it. A towel and a motorcycle to explain bidets to people who haven't used a bidet before. Sir.
I think that's harder than my
Wait,
prompt.
no. Then now I feel challenged because you said that I have to do it. So recently, Mon told me that I was stubborn. Sometimes I learn things about myself. I think I have. I don't know how solid this is. I think your thing with the harm reduction was a lot more solid, but here's where I am. Okay. So you're on a motorcycle, and let's say you're wearing shorts for some reason as you're driving the motorcycle, and you come off a long ride and you get off your motorcycle, and what do you see on the seat? Sweat. Whole lot of butt sweat. This is the second episode where I mentioned butt sweat. So that's clearly on my mind. For reference, I mentioned it in episode 2. So when you're done with your motor, you're not going to leave the butt sweat just there. So you grab your towel, the towel that you always have in your bag, to clean the butt sweat. And it does a pretty good job. It's clean. You jump off the motorcycle and you go inside the restaurant. You ate a nice big meal and you had milk with it. So your tummy, she's a rumbling. And then you go, so you run. Can I use the bathroom? You're in the bathroom and you realize they don't have tissue. You have just pooped a big poop and you have nothing on you except the towel. The towel that you use to wipe your motorcycle seat clean. You try to wipe your ass clean with the towel, but is it? Is it really clean? The towel was really effective at wiping sweat off the motorcycle seat, but you soon realize, let's say it was a really major poop, so one swipe won't do it. Once you swipe your butt with a towel, what are you gonna do? Poop is not the same as sweat. You can't just wipe that shit, literally, and think it's clean. So enter bidets. Pressurized water that you point at your butt to blast the poop away. It's connected to the main water line of the bathroom. You pull it, there's a little lever, then you psh to your butt, and it's clean. And then you can use the fucking towel. Because what we learned, towel is effective with water. Now, if your butt is clean from the bidet, you just pat it dry with a towel. Now you have a clean butt. No bidet, no clean butt. I don't know how people without bidets do it, but I cannot live without a bidet. So much so that I have a portable bidet in case the bathroom I'm in doesn't have one. Because I am not using my sweaty motorcycle towel. Water is where it's at. Water is where I feel squeaky clean. And I thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you. You are now the host of this podcast. What does your creative process look like?
I'm not sure how similar or different my creative processes with other people. Get in the comments. I guess this is the part where you prompt them to share how different they are, how they think.
Hashtag Headtime Stories or at headtimestories.pod on Instagram.
Well, my creative process though, my personal one, is that I always get going if I start with something uncertain.
Oh.
Let's put it back to one activity. Maybe, let's say, drawing something. No, usually I start not knowing what to do. Maybe pull out the pen, draw a few circles, draw a few lines, and then I'm like, oh, this looks like this thing. Or this circle looks like a shape of a head. Maybe I can draw a face. Maybe the hair flows this way. And then a line, and then the line goes, oh, this is the shape of the body, this is the pose. I take my creative process to be like every little step I do is the prompt for the next. Sometimes, if I already know what to do, if I know, oh, I'm gonna draw the Mona Lisa, for example, I can't do that. But like, if I'm gonna do something and I already know what the finished product is gonna look like, I'm gonna reduce it to steps, to specific steps that I have to do to get to that point. And it kind of takes away the flow, the process for me. My brain tells me that it gets tedious and boring. Oh, I have to do this and that. It's very precise. So I like it when there's like space for uncertainty. I like spaces where I can just, oh, initially I'm drawing this arm. But what if I erase this arm and then turn it into a nail? I don't know. Sometimes it's more fun for me. It gets me in the process. I can have a goal. Let's say it's an art project. Draw your favorite animal. Let's say that simple prompt. I can still start with shapes. Maybe I can start with a favorite animal. Or maybe my favorite animal is an elephant. And maybe I can draw it big and majestic, or a tiny one right in the middle of the paper. It can have its ears for wings. It can be inside a hat. Every step I take leads to the next prompt.
Quick interjection. So I will need you to make the cover art for this episode, the elephant with wing ears. In a,
Dumbo.
no, we don't want to get sued. But I like what you said about leaving space for uncertainty. I think that you were able to articulate something that's like my brain is like that too. Where if I know how everything else is going to go, if I know how the ending is going to turn out, episode 2, I get bored. But if I do have a goal and I'm figuring out my way there, that process of discovery and that process of problem solving and that process of experimentation is what keeps me interested and what keeps me enjoying it. And oh no, Marble, episode 1.
Like how we always reference previous episodes like a callback to a joke.
It's called cross-linking. SEO, get on it. Okay, so what does it look like in your brain when you're in the middle of a creative flow?
Flow is legit flow for me. By that, I mean it's hard to get into. Like going back to the Venus flytrap analogy, I can't move toward the thing. It needs the fly to get to me in order to start. It takes me a while to start. But once I'm in it, I can't stop. That's how the flow works for me. There's this time I just couldn't sleep at night. And I was like, maybe I should cover a song. Mind you, this is like 4 in the morning, lying down in bed. And I think I was listening to my music. And I was like, oh, let me cover this song. So since I couldn't sleep anyway, I just stood up, went to the piano, looked up a few chords, and then figured out the entire song the entire morning. Which is really, really weird. I think it's I don't know what to call that.
It sounds like hyperfocus, but I'm not a psychologist.
Undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure. but what happened was I really just hyper focused it. And I know I'm going to lose that focus if I stop. The sun is up. It's really, really bright out already. And I hopped into my garage band and I just recorded everything. And then all that's left is to record vocals. So I set up my table with a microphone. The flow state for me is very, very extra. Because I was like, oh, I want to cover this. Maybe I can just record. No, not just record. I'm going to video myself on the piano and I'm going to video myself singing without knowing that it's already 4 in the afternoon. Didn't have lunch, didn't have breakfast, just straight up the piano all morning without sleep.
So your Venus flytrap caught a fly. And then you said, okay, I suppose I will become a music producer, vocalist, videographer, cinematographer, editor.
That's a really, really huge fly. But sometimes I have this feeling of, how do you say hinayang or sayang?
The closest I can think of is like you don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah. I didn't want it to go to waste. I know if I lose it forever. So I just might as well ride the wave and just finish it on one sitting.
How did you have the thought that you wanted to cover, like, let's say, this specific song?
I'm listening to this particular song and I was like, oh, this sounds good. This might be fun to cover. I don't know the chords, how to play it. I think I did a quick Google search first of its basic chords. And that's it. I stood up, went to the piano, and then played it. Maybe that's one example of starting with something uncertain.
Oh, yeah. And then it was sunset. And now you have a music video.
Mm-hmm. And then I needed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time.
Be efficient.
Life hacks.
Wow, y'all should see the sunset. Hang on. You can't see it, but at this point in the podcast, we have both stopped recording to whip out our phones and take pictures and videos of the sunset and the sky and the green because it looks really beautiful right now. If this is what flow feels like, tell me about the flip side of it. How do you handle creative blocks when you can't get into flow?
It really is hard to get into it. If it's a block, it's a hard block. You know, you can't really force yourself. Sometimes that creative spark or that fly arrives in the most unorthodox of places. Like if you're in a shower or when you're driving. I guess it's just finding a way to document it. Like an easy, low threshold way to document it. Like, a quick voice note. So like, oh, I thought of this song. And I'm gonna just press a button or press a shortcut on my phone and be like, and then I can refer to that later. Like, oh, right, I thought of this tune, and then I can start going from there. The funny thing about sometimes having that creative spark is, for example, oh, I want to draw this thing, or I want to do this thing. And then you set up your workstation, you get your microphone if you're doing a podcast like this, you get your apps ready, get your instruments or recording device ready. And once you're all set up and cozy, you're going to be like, then what?
Now what? I had all the ideas when I was in the shower. And the moment I sit down at my desk, they're gone.
Exactly. Sometimes it be like that. And I don't like it. So I need something to start with. If you do all that setup just to sit down and have nothing in your head, I mean, that's kind of disappointing, right?
I like what you said earlier about having like some sort of quick jot, some sort of way to get it out, because I'm not inspired when I'm sitting at a desk and looking at the wall. If we go back to what we were talking about in terms of creativity being connecting the dots, there are no dots in front of me when I'm staring at nothing. But it's when I'm at the shower and my thoughts are just going everywhere, or I'm taking a walk and I see something that reminds me of something that reminds me of something. Like that's when those flies are flying. So I suppose, like going with your metaphor, if I'm not in the position to do something about these sparks, if I'm not in the position to do something about these flies, I can't eat yet. I like your idea of quick capture because it's almost like it's like a portable Venus flytrap, or it's like the Venus flytrap has Tupperware that she brings with her, and then you just kind of take the flies home you grab the flies for takeout so that you can eat them at home where you have utensils and microphones.
You know what that reminds me of? It's like you're playing Mario Kart.
What?
And then you get this power up, like the piranha plant power up.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just going around taking the opportune time to use it, and then you pop it and it just eats everything beside you.
Correct.
Eats all the flies in your piranha plant Venus flytrap metaphor thing. That's where my brain went.
Yeah, I need a piranha plant sister to my Venus flytrap. And my piranha plant looks like my phone most of the time. I have on my phone like 51,000 shortcuts that are all different quick capture shortcuts. I have voice notes quick capture, notes quick capture. So let's say I have an idea for a podcast, I can just click a button and type it before it's gone. I have a reminders list on my phone that's called Goldfish Inbox because the idea is I have to put it in there before my goldfish brain forgets it in like 3 seconds. I have something with voice notes if it's easier for me to talk. So no, I get you. That's my piranha plant. And then she spits out all those flies to the Venus flytrap. That's how I'm able to almost manufacture the flow to capture the sparks when I get them so that I have something to feed my fly trap. Yeah.
No, but it really makes sense, like the way you said it, because we design it according to the way our brain works.
Yes. I, for one, endorse this message. What advice would you give to your younger self about creativity?
To not discount failure.
I like that.
Yeah, because especially when you're young and like excited about something, and at least me, I used to have this expectation that the first time I do something should be perfect and that's it. No edits. Post publish. Yeah. If I had someone when I was young to tell me to not discount my failures, that would have helped with how I deal with things. To reassure me that, hey, what I failed to do now is a step toward doing something well in the future. And all of that comes with it. You know what I mean?
That's really nice. You wanna end the episode there?
Pwede.
Can you?
Now you. What's it like in your brain when you're doing something creative? Do you also have that Venus flytrap in your head or some other metaphor?
Tell us what it's like. Use the hashtag HeadTimeStories or tag me on the socials at HeyMcLee or at HeadTimeStories.pod and let's chat. That's it for this episode of Headtime Stories. I'm your host, McLee. I was joined today by Mon. And what's it like in your brain? Storytime again soon. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Pow, pow.
Boom shakalaka.
Skibidi. I can't do it.
Is that enough content?